welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. So happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading is a monthly reading for June 2026 for the water sign Pisces. Pisces, I do hope that you are doing well. As you can see, I've shuffled off camera, laid the spread to save a bit of time. We're doing a 10-card Celtic Cross spread using the Crystal Visions Tarot deck today. And before I get into your reading, I would just like to begin by apologizing. I know I've been missing for the past few months. I've just been dealing with quite a few personal issues, which has just made it impossible for me to do these readings. But hopefully with these June readings, I will be back on track and will be posting my usual monthly and mid-monthlies. Okay, so, and yeah, I will say that it does seem that many of the signs have been receiving very similar messages this month. So it seems like the month of June is bringing quite a few changes for people, especially on the work front. And that's definitely showing up in your reading here as well, but we'll see what I'm talking about in 1 second. Okay, so center of your spread, you have the Seven of Pentacles as your main focus, with the Eight of Cups as the crossing energy, so what could help or hinder. Seven of Pentacles is, you've put in the hard work and effort, right? You've planted the seed, you've watered it, taken care of it. You can see here that, she's obviously having, or she's able to see the fruit of her labor, right? She has this basket of fruit here, right, representing all of the profits, but the benefits of what she has done, right? So she's worked long and hard. She is able to see the rewards for what she's done, but she's also reflecting, right? So the Seven of Pentacles is a card of reflecting on what is it that you want at this point, right? So yes, she feels good about what she's achieved, but will this actually get her from where she is, right? If she continues to do what she has been doing, would this get her all the way to the Ten of Pentacles, like the ultimate in Pentacles energy? Or does she need to do something different? Does she need to, whether this is something different within the current job, or does she need to do something different, completely different, like go off in a new direction, try for a new job, right? Leave the current position. So it is a card of taking stock. And with the Eight of Cups helping or hindering, I feel that this is, it indicates that there will be, you will be thinking about leaving your current place of employment, heading in a new direction. The Eight of Cups represents, you see all the cups that have spilled out, right? At one point, each of these cups held something, right, that this person enjoyed, right? She was happy doing what she was doing, maybe in the workplace. She used to be happy there, but is no longer. These cups no longer fulfill her. And even though she's not sure what lies ahead, she can't see over the hills, the mountains in front of her, she knows that she can no longer stay put, right? So there's this sort of reckoning moment. In the deep past, you have the Seven of Cups, so the card that comes immediately before this Eight of Cups, which is, it's a card of choices. So you could have been really, weighing up your options, right? For many of you, this could look like, you being on job sites, right? Or if we look at this more to do with sort of relationships, although it's coming through more as a career and finance reading. But, looking at going on, say, dating sites, or going on job sites, and looking at all the different options that are out there and kind of comparing them with this taking stock, comparing them to where you currently are working. What do they offer? What are the benefits that these other jobs offer, as far as pay, time off, things like, other types of benefits. And then, deciding, do I really want to stay where I am? Should I start applying for some of these other positions? So there's looking at the situation and sort of seeing what other options are out there for you. In the recent past, we have major energy here. This is the major arcana, the Tower, number 16 of the major arcana. And the Tower is associated with the fire sign of Aries. And, this is a significant energy. When the Tower card comes in, it really comes into, to shake things up, obviously, right? It comes into to move us forward. And many times, you know, the Tower shows up as this very unexpected event, something completely out of the blue that really catches us off guard. And even though the Tower, you know, the Tower moment or this Tower energy is not easy, it's all about how we handle this energy and how we deal with this Tower moment. So, for example, I often give the example of, you know, maybe you have been unhappy in your current place of employment for quite a while. You've worked there, you're not really satisfied, the pay isn't that great, you don't really see many options for progression, but it's a job, right? And there haven't been many other options out there for you. And then you go into work one day and they let you know that, you know, unfortunately you're being let go. Could be because of AI, right? If many jobs are being sort of replaced, taken over by AI, and so you're kind of forced into this. Okay, and now what? You know, and that gets you onto the job, you know, sites and gets you thinking about what else you might be able to do. Yes, it's a shock, and it's not easy to deal with, especially the prospect of being out of work and how are you going to, you know, where do you go from here? But ultimately, it could push you in a completely new direction that's going to be, you know, more beneficial for you long term. Crowning your reading, you have the Eight of Swords, so message from your higher self. Yeah, this is about, you know, you're thinking or feeling that you're stuck, right? This is that mental prison. The Suit of Swords is air energy, and it has to do with it's the suit of the mind, our thoughts, communication, so cerebral energy. And she's thinking that there's no way out of a situation. So this could be you, you know, and you have another number 8 here. Yeah, you thinking you're not being able to see your way out of this Tower situation, or, you know, in your current place of employment, like, what else am I going to do? But she could, in reality, she could easily remove the blindfold, and she could step through the swords and head off in a new direction. So, you know, you might be thinking that you know, oh, I don't know what to do from here. Where do I go? But there is an answer, right? There is a way out. And I feel that you're just, you know, you're tired of having to think about these things. With the Nine of Wands showing up in the near future, it's like the Wounded Warrior card, right? And it's like one last thing, one last obstacle, one possible, you know, last delay that shows up before you're able to finally, you know, move on, get out of here with this Eight of Cups, move on to the new job. Or so this might even look like, you know, yes, you've found out that you're losing your job, but they're still requiring that you know, work out another however many weeks, and it's like, oh, really, do I really need to do that? You know, I just want to head off in this new direction. So it might be something as simple as that. It doesn't have to be anything you know, terrible as far as this obstacle coming out, and it could be just a possible delay. You are nearly there, right? You're nearly at the 10 of Wands, which is the end of this cycle, but there might be one last thing that you have to face, one last obstacle that you have to deal with before getting there. Now, you show up as the Queen of Wands, so if there is something to deal with, this is the energy that you would want to have, right? The Queen of Wands is, she is very determined, fire energy, has to do with the work that we do. It's also creative projects and endeavors, and she is, you know, she's very attractive. Usually this Queen of Wands might be a month where you're focusing, giving an extra focus to your outward appearance, right? Working on yourself, could be changing your appearance, getting a haircut, getting a makeover, revamping your clothes, your closet, right? But, you know, within the work sphere, she's very good at multitasking. She has great vision, so she's a very dynamic energy. So again, if there is something to deal with, you're taking on this energy of the Queen of Wands this month, so you're definitely going to be capable of getting things done. Surrounding you in your environment, you have the King of Cups, so it could be somebody who is coming in to help you this month. You might be relying on the support of this King of Cups individual. Typically this would be an older water sign individual, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, obviously Pisces, you're a water sign, but it could be just a, you know, another water sign. Could be an older, like a father figure, father of your children, your own father, or just a, you know, a more mature water sign individual that might be supporting you this month. And this person is usually, you know, as the King of Cups, is really very in tune with their feelings, emotions. They're very emotionally stable. They're very loving, supportive. So this might be, you know, the support that you need, especially getting you out of this mental, right, prison with the Eight of Swords crowning your reading. Your hopes and fears. So we have two major arcanas heading into the month of July. You have hopes and fears, the Death card. This is major arcana number 13, associated with the water sign of Scorpio. And then we have the final card, so heading into the month of July, we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is earth energy associated with the earth sign of Taurus. So you're hoping for this ending, right, and new beginning, because the Death card comes in, and again, you know, the Death card is not, it can be difficult, because obviously to have or to allow for this new beginning, right, there has to be an ending, and sometimes endings can be quite painful, but without the, you know, the painful ending, there is no new beginning that comes after it. So through death comes new life. So it's a, you know, a significant chapter in your life coming to an end here, but in order to give way to something brand new that's coming in. So this is what you're hoping for. And the Hierophant, this is you signing on the dotted line, right? The Hierophant can show up when you are joining into like a new big organization. So you're joining into a new company, a university, right? Can be signing the contract. The Hierophant can also be, obviously, like, I mean, he sits as a religious figure at the head of a large religious institution, so you might be seeking counsel from this religious figure, or just seeking counsel in general. The Hierophant is about doing things a traditional way, so taking a more traditional approach. However, that ties in with this, whatever this new opportunity might be for you. But, you know, this could be just you entering into this new company, right? So as you move into the month of July. And bottom of the deck, we kind of have more confirmation of that. Your overall energy is the Three of Pentacles, which is a card of teamwork. It is a card of possibly teaming up with others, joining into, you know, or joining a new team, a new department. Threes in the tarot also represent growth, so growth potential surrounding the work that you do, the money, you know, the money that you earn. Yeah, so possibly joining into a new team, joining a new company. So again, similar messages to some of the other signs. I would, if you haven't done so already, I would encourage you to watch not just your sun sign reading, but also your moon and rising. That way you will have a more complete overview of the energies coming in this month. But looks like a positive month for you, right? With change coming in. So I do hope the messages have helped. I thank you for joining me today. I look forward to reading for you again. And just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light for a wonderful month of June. Bye for now.